First of all, I just want to introduce myself. My name is AndrewGarrett. I'm a computer forensic expert for Garrett Discovery. It's a corporation here in Illinois in good standing. Just to give you a background of who I am, I ran the largest computer forensics lab for the Department of Defense at Scott Air Force Base. I testified in over 100 court cases. We process on average about 200 court cases a year. I've worked for the Department of Justice, the United States Air Force, and various other corporations and law firms throughout Illinois. A little bit ago, Chairman Rodney Kopus said that a few people had resigned from this county under suspicious circumstances, and he would like a forensic audit conducted on a few computers. We took the images of those computers. Images are copies of computers, which includes every file that has been deleted, destroyed, and partially overwritten. We use highly sophisticated tools to recover this type of information, and it will tell us what somebody's done over the last, let's say, a couple of years. Every Facebook posting, every click of a mouse, we can try and reconstruct. So the 4 computers of interest that we're looking at belong to Julie Clark, Carrie Hagan, Doug Corbett, and Mary Cahill. After we took these images, we examined them for internet usage for waste, fraud, and abuse, and we've examined the email for waste, fraud, and abuse additionally. We've done this type of work for our county and state governments for the past about 5 years, and this is probably, I think, around a dozen or so cases we've processed for county governments in the last 18 months. We use tools such as NCASE and IEF. These are the same tools that law enforcement uses, Department of Justice uses, and FBI uses to process evidence. Now, to get to some of the data we found, of course, there's much more data than what we're going to report today. There's over millions and millions of records on each computer. I'm going to highlight some of the records that we found on a few of these computers to give you an idea of some of the materials that were found. All the materials are available through public information requests. If you wish to submit those or ask questions, please direct those to the chairman, and he will coordinate getting that information to you with our help. First of all, we're going to discuss Julie Clark, who my understanding is she was your Public Information Officer, HIPAA officer, and an Open Meetings Act officer. Right around 70% of the time spent on a computer was spent organizing church functions, managing the Kiwanis Club, over 1,000 emails alone, fundraising for Maryville, Illinois Mayor Gullidge, campaigning for this person, including emails to invites and requests for money, use of the computer to write letters to support the campaign, emails to change public health procurement policies to enable her husband to bid on work under a different shell corporation name, Day and Night Solar, and billed underneath a different company to the county for the work that was done. Emails that show the creation of a foundation and selection of the board members using the county health department's assets and cash. Coordination of wedding and baby showers in Southern Illinois, and I've been informed that Julie Clark lives in the East St. Louis area, over 3 hours from here. Loaned money to private entities using the county's funds to establish a new business. Recruiting staff for a church. Now to go on to Carrie Hagan. Carrie Hagan, I've been informed, is your financial coordinator and support services coordinator. Carrie Hagan used your government computer to do the following: 3,011 searches for classifieds such as eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, all for personal matters. 1,465 searches on dating websites. 7,688 Facebook posts and comments. And over 10,000 web searches for keywords such as cars, makeup, apartments, sports, Disney, and clothes. Use of the county's credit card to purchase gifts for others prior to the Christmas holiday. Now to go on to Doug Corbett, who I've been informed is your public health administrator. Doug used his government computer to do inappropriate web searching such as, "I just pooped and my butthole won't close." come on boobs, and many others that we redacted from this due to the graphic nature. Hundreds of pornography files were found on a computer downloaded by Doug Corbett. Inappropriate contracting with sealed bids, use of the computer to pay bills and manage personal life, excessive use on sports-related websites, emails that show the creation of a foundation and selection of board members, and the use of health department assets and cash to form that foundation. Loaned money to private entities with a promissory note to the county without communicating the information to the board. Next, we have Mary Cahill, who I've been informed is your home health director. Used your government computer for the following: to establish a home health business in Indiana using government funds, and I quote from one of her emails, can stay independent of the health department. Based on the evidence we reviewed on Clark, Hagan, and Corbett's computer, basically what was looked at here is real simple. These computers were rarely used, less than 30% for county business. They were used for personal business. 70%, when we did our statistics on this, about 70% or higher of these computers were used for personal business and for personal gain. It's my recommendation at Garrett Discovery, that you create a new IT policy that is very, very strict, that if you're using government-owned equipment for personal business, that you're terminating, and that you have an accounting review team and a forensic team once a quarter pick random computers to audit, and based upon their recommendations, terminate those employees that are committing waste, fraud, and abuse on this county. I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a few quick questions from the board if there's any. I want to talk a little bit about the cost factor. I, as a taxpayer, don't feel that I should have to pay for certain pornography on a government computer. If you take the salaries of the people that we're talking about, the three salaries, we're talking about $250,000 in taxpayer-funded salaries with their benefits. So you spent $250,000. If they spent 20% of their time, you got robbed for $200,000. If they spent 70% of their time, you got ripped off close to $1 million. If you think this is acceptable, okay. I don't believe it in any way, shape, or form. When you convert your public assets to private gain, or use a credit card to purchase gifts for someone, that's a criminal act. You can't put it any other way. Any questions from you? I'm going to ask for a motion to admit Mr. Garrett's report into the record of the county board along with my statement. Motion to admit.
Is there any plans to look into the computers of the health department employees that are still employed?
There are, this was 4 to 5 computers that was hard drive images were captured. There were approximately 20 computers at the health department. We don't know what the rest of those show. If this board wants to do a full forensic accounting to understand that, you're going to have a massive amount of time involved. You're going to have some expense. There was no expense on this report to the taxpayers of this county. And I thank Mr. Garrett for his willingness to at least give us an insight to what we as taxpayers pay for. There is a very reasonable remedy, and that is to put an IT policy into place that twice a year, 4 times a year, that the forensic auditor can walk in and sample any government computer. And if you have violated the public's trust, you should be on immediately. Mr. Whitlow.
Where did the funding come from for this audit?
There was no funding.
We did this pro bono. We do a few cases a year pro bono for county and state governments.
I have copies of the emails, some of those. I have copies of 31 sales, which is purse sales. I'm going to read you just briefly here. I'm going to read you a list of vendors that are on the system. No, thank you, answer 3 minutes. I'll read you the list here real quick, so you can just get a